What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon. NBA DFS video for Tuesday. It is December 26th, and we are back with another video for you. Big day for Christmas. Hopefully you guys had a great Christmas. Hopefully you had a good weekend. Hopefully in fantasy football you are in the playoffs, in the championship, just like I am. If you are in the championship, hit that like button. Let us know what you scored in the championship yesterday, or semis, I guess. Some people had the championship, some people have it this week. Big shout out to everyone who liked the video, watched the video. Would have been yesterday's video. We did actually have a winner. So what am I talking about? If you've never been here before, anytime you like the video, you're a subscriber, and you tell me who's going to score the most amount of fantasy points on DraftKings and how many fantasy points they're going to score without going over, you will win a free week of DFS content. And if you watch yesterday's video, I absolutely love Luka. I didn't think he'd go off for what he went off for. But looking at that, we do have a winner. The winner is Lil Monster 609 BCZU. So if you're still watching this, I don't think you have an account on the site. So hit me up via email or Twitter at advisors_team. Our email is dfshelp1@gmail.com. He chose Luka for 81 fantasy points. Luka went off for 97.5 fantasy points with 50 actual points. So hit me up on email and tell me an email you would like to use and a username you would like to use. And we'll get you set up for that free week, which will include this week of NBA and this week of NFL DFS. So that being said, congratulations. Again, if you want to have a chance to do it, like the video, be a subscriber. You too can win a week. So tell me who's going to score the most amount of fantasy points on this slate on DraftKings and how many are they going to score. You need both of those, and it's the one that's closest without going over. Another way to do it is like the video, be a subscriber. If the video gets 50 likes, we'll give away a free week. 100 likes, we'll give away a free month. 125 likes, we'll give away a free year. And if any of our video gets at least 150 likes, you leave a comment, you are a YouTube subscriber, you have a chance to have the comment picker pick you up as a winner to win a free lifetime pass. So that being said, we do have a pretty good NBA slate today. We're going to do what we normally do, and I've asked multiple times. If you've never been here before, we go through each position. We give you 3 top, 3 mid, and 3 value picks. These are a great starting point. These are a great player pool starting point as well. But if you come here just to complain that, oh, you give away half the field, that's not true. This is a starting point. We're giving this part to you. If you want to see more, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com is there. We have simulation models. We have NBA DFS minutes played. We have fantasy points allowed by position, both Fanduel and DraftKings. We have Vegas odds, top plays. The top plays are both DraftKings and Fanduel. And with that, they are via DVP and also implied team total. So once the Vegas numbers all come out, we have our player projections. So what we talk about in this video are some of the player projections, not all of them. If you want to see all of them, click the link down below and go to FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. We have NBA DFS Chalk. So the Chalk is anytime we have each position for FanDuel and DraftKings, we have the players that we think are projected out with ownership. So with cash, you want those higher ownership because you want chalk. With tournaments, you want to go low ownership there as well. So those are on the website, part of the FTA Plus. We've got our cheat sheet, which has each position, and then we have our NBA bets as well. So we're going to go over the Vegas odds. We're going to go over the fantasy points allowed by position, and then we're going to go over the matchups and the pace of play and what teams might be in store for a good game there. So currently just looking at Vegas odds once it reloads. Again, 9 games. With 9 games, you kind of sometimes want to what you want to do is maybe narrow it down to 5 games or so. Look at the ones that are highest over-under and stuff like that and go from there. So you can see that Spurs versus Jazz, close game, 2.5 point spread, 242.5 over-under. We've got Magic Wizards, -7 spread, 237.5 over-under. Rockets Pacers is 3-point spread, 237. We've got Trailblazers Kings. Kings are a 7.5 point favorite here, 235.5 over-under. And then Bulls Hawks, 233.5 over-under there. Close spread. We do have the Clippers it could be a blowout against the Hornets, -11. So that is a game maybe if you want to get a couple of Clippers players in there. Kawhi might be out. that I think Paul George would be in a good spot there. Just pay attention to the Vegas numbers, see where it's at, take advantage of that as well. So, that being said, we're going to go through the article, which if you would click the link in the description down below, that would be awesome. Click that link for this article. We also have our Discord channel. Not much going on in there, and people aren't talking. If you join it, say hello. Let's get a conversation going. Try to help each other out. So, that being said, we're jumping into the players. Now, we've got top plays, mid plays, and we've got value plays. Now, with the value plays, they will open up. So some of this value will open up throughout the day. Now, these projections are basically floor projections. Obviously, we're not going to project Luka yesterday for 95 fantasy points. But I loved him. I said he was my top play of the day. I thought he's going to score the most amount of points. I was thinking 75, 80. I was not thinking 95. So that being said, I think SGA fits that mold today. It could change a little bit. We'll definitely take a look afterwards. So looking at this, we got SGA at 52 fantasy points, Halliburton at 48, Ja Morant at 47, mid-tier, Malcolm Brogdon 35, Cam Thomas 35, and Colin Sexton 34. Then your value, Mike Conley 27, Terry Rozier 27, and Scoot Henderson at 24 fantasy points. Move to the shooting guard position. Anthony Edwards at 47 fantasy points, Cade Cunningham 44, Paul George 41. Mid-tier, Spencer Dinwiddie 33, Devin Vassell 33, Bogdan Bogdanovic here at 32. And then your value, Norman Powell at 26, Dylan Brooks 25, and Trey Murphy III at 23 fantasy points. Now, when I made this article and I'm making this video, these players are either questionable but probable or in. Maybe by the time you watch this, some of these players have been ruled out. Again, if that's the case, we have players on the cheat sheet later today that will have active players. So if there are people that are out right now, that's definitely something just to pay attention to and get some conversations going down below. Try to answer those as well. Moving to the small forward, you got DeMar DeRozan at 42 fantasy points, Lauri Markkanen at 41, Desmond Bane 40. Mid-tier, Buddy Hield 29, Keldon Johnson 29, and Bojan Bogdanovic at 29. And then some value plays here as of now at the small forward, Oscar Thompson 24, Vince Williams 24, and Harrison Barnes at 24 fantasy points. Moving to the power forward position, Paolo Banchero at 42, Kyle Kuzma questionable but should be playing at 38, Miles Bridges 38. Mid-tier, Jabari Smith 31, Keegan Murray 31. I do like Keegan Murray today in this high-octane game. I think he's in for a good game as well. John Collins, 29. And then value, P.J. Washington, 24. Obi Toppin, 23. And Isaiah Stewart at 22. Then we move to the center position today. You've got Sabonis at... Sabonis is at 45 fantasy points. My bad. I need to update this. Sengun at 42. Rudy Gobert, 40. Mid-tier, we've got Clint Capella at 34, Miles Turner 33, and Nick Claxton 32. And then value here, Walker Kessler 29, Kelly Olynyk 29, and Nick Richards at 28 fantasy points. So those are just some of the plays. If you would click the link and let me see that you guys are looking at the article, that would be fantastic for me as well. We do look at like the fantasy points allowed by position. So if you go here and you can see like the Spurs give up the most amount of fantasy points to the point guard position. They give up 56.7. So who are the Spurs playing today? That's, you may ask. Utah. So point guard. Now this isn't necessarily the only way to do it, but this is a good way you could look at. So you got Colin Sexton here. The minutes are there. Down here, but 30 plus minutes. The fantasy points up and down here. He's 7,000. He's got the best matchup of all point guards today. So you could pencil him in there, and maybe you feel confident about that. Just really depends on what you're looking for. Then maybe, you come here, you see that Utah gives up the most amount of fantasy points to shooting guard. So who are the Utah Jazz facing? Well, they're facing San Antonio. So that brings us to, you could go Devin Vassell. He's 7,000. Malachi Branham, the minutes, they're kind of there. He's just the production's not there. But if you want to go Vassell, again, he's 7,000. Game log, kind of coming off not a good game in third. I mean, he's playing the minutes, but he didn't have a very good game there. He's not really hitting value since 11 days ago. That's the problem. That's what I'm saying. Like, 7,000. He hasn't hit value for a while. What you're looking for cash, you're looking for at least 6.5 to 7 times value. Meaning, Branham at 5,200, 6 times 6.5, 7.5 times value, 7.5 times 5.2 or 5,200. That's how many fantasy points he needs to score. For tournaments, you're looking at 8+ pretty much, 7.5, 8+, to feel confident in every single position. So that's just kind of a way to build using the fantasy points allowed by position. People love it. It's BVP for baseball, basically. For football, we kind of have the same thing. We have tools like that as well. So that being said, we do have this matchup report. We kind of look at this. Magic versus Wizards. You see that the Wizards have every single category except offensive rating. So the Magic could be if you want to come look here, you want to see Orlando. They have a really good matchup. Washington's pretty bad against every position, and people might be off of it. So if you just want to look at Orlando, Bonchero, love me some Bonchero there. France Wagner, I don't mind him. Cole Anthony, I'm okay with. Wendell Carter Jr., Mo Wagner, 5,300. Game log wise, not a good game his last game, but against Milwaukee, 38. Let's see, has he played Washington this year? Let's see. Yeah, back-to-back games of Washington. Didn't do much. So that's just kind of the offense. You could look at that one since the Magic have the better offense there. And Wizards defense, they're actually really good. They're first overall, which doesn't make sense to me. They're 5-23. A higher over-under. So I don't mind some Washington offense there. Probably Bonchero, France Wagner would be what I'd look at. We look at the Nets versus the Pistons. The Nets, the only two things that they have above the Pistons, points per game and offensive rating, obviously go hand in hand. We know Pistons have won 2 games this year. There are bets out there that they might not win another game. Their pace of play, they're second overall in the year, first the last 5 games, and first the last 10 games. So look for some Nets players. So if you're looking for some Nets players that make sense or you feel confident about, Bridges. Obviously, Michael Bridges is one I'm looking at. Cam Thomas, Spencer Dinwiddie, Nick Claxton for a cheaper center option today. I'm looking at that. Then you have got Cam Johnson. He's okay. Still kind of expensive to not hit value. So those would be the players that I look at for Brooklyn. We move to the next game. Got Jazz versus the Spurs. We've got the Jazz have points per game, offensive rating, and defensive rating. So the Spurs, they're 4-24. They're not looking too good. Wembanyama's probably out. Again, let's see. He's questionable. Yeah, so he twisted his ankle on Saturday. He's their franchise number 1 pick. Probably not going to push him, which would be what we'd look at there. And yeah, so Jazz players that jump out, we could look at them. Mark Cannon, Jordan Clarkson, I'm okay with. Collins, Kessler, Olenek. That's probably it for the Utah players that I feel confident about. Spurs players, there's not much. If we look at the Spurs players, Keldon Johnson, Vassell, we've talked about those because Utah's bad. Branham, tournament, I'm okay with, but that's probably it. Jones, minutes-wise, the minutes aren't there. Yeah, probably off of him too. Chetty Osman, I'm not on him either. He's not getting the minutes. So those are probably the players that I'd look at in those matchups there. We got Hawks versus the Bulls. We've got the Hawks. They rank the number 1 team on everything. Number 1 points per game. Number 1 opponent's points per game, which isn't good. So this game should be good here. I think you want to see they're first in everything. I think you want to see players from both of these teams. I think you want to go maybe Hawk heavy a little bit. Trae Young might actually be out. Questionable now. Got an AC sprain. So if he is out, that would obviously open up some value for like Deontay Murray. Game log wise, he's playing the minutes, he's getting the fantasy points. So Deontay Murray, if Trae Young is out, Deontay Murray might be one of my favorite plays today. So I would look at him. Flip side of that, I would look at Kobe White because, again, Atlanta's given up those plays. I would look at Kobe White. Capella against Chicago. I made a little bit of Capella there at center if you want to pay down a little bit. I think a lot of this game is kind of where you want to look at. So if Trae Young is out, that'll open up a lot more value at Atlanta. If Trae Young is in and he's good to go, 100%, I would love Trae Young. But again, the AC joint shooting, we'll kind of see. But I do like this matchup here. Got a higher over-under, Pacers versus Rockets. I think Pacers are going to be in a higher over-under pretty much every single game. And you can see points per game. They have the only disadvantage they have is the last 5 pace of play. So they've been in very high scoring games. I think Halliburton is in a fantastic spot today. The Rockets, there's not much I like about the Rockets offense. I'm probably not looking at them much at all today. Then we move Grizzlies versus Pelicans. You can see that Pelicans have the advantage in every single category besides the last 5 and last 10 pace of play. So we kind of look at that. This could be a lower scoring game. So Memphis versus Pelicans, if you want to look at that. Morant coming back, the minutes are there. He's played 3 games. He's in now. His last 2 of his 3 games, he's hit 57 plus fantasy points. He's 9,800, so he is kind of expensive, but he's in a good spot here. Desmond Bane is in that same instance there. He's got a better matchup. And he's cheaper than Morant, so if you want to go with that there. Zion, dude's just fat. He can't lose weight. For his price, he's not hitting value. That's the problem. He's not hitting at least 5 times value. It's probably too expensive. McCollum here, game log-wise, it's kind of same thing. He's not hitting value. He's not hitting at least 6 times value. 7,500 is kind of expensive. He is facing... Memphis, he faced them 2 games ago. 37.25 fantasy points is not enough at 7,300. He's not really hit value much there. Jaren Jackson Jr. doesn't have the best matchup. Really hasn't done much lately in the minutes that he's played. So those would be some of the plays in this game that I'm looking at. Grizzlies, I love Morant. He is expensive though. So that's definitely something to look at. You got Timberwolves versus Thunder. Thunder take the cake in every single category here. So kind of just looking at, let's get out of here. So SGA, I love SGA. I think he's probably going to score the most amount of points, if not close. So you can look at SGA in that game. Anthony Edwards, I'm okay with. He's got a good matchup here on the flip side of that. Rudy Gobert at 7,900. It's not hitting the 6 times value, so I don't know if I want to use him. Naz Reid would be a cheaper option, but he hasn't done much either. At 6,400 and 6,000 plus here, he's not hit over 30 since in 12 days. So probably just one that I'm avoiding pretty much in that one. Moving to the Kings versus Trailblazers, it's a higher over-under. Kings, I love Keegan Murray here. Sabonis, I'm looking there. You can see Kings have the advantage in every single category except the last 5 games pace of play. So that's definitely a Kings advantage. So if we're looking at Sacramento here, Sabonis, I love. Keegan Murray, I love. Herter here, the minutes just aren't there at all. Harrison Barnes, the minutes are there, the production's not there. De'Aaron Fox is here, he's expensive. The minutes are there, obviously. He's hitting value. De'Aaron Fox would make sense. So if I'm using some Sacramento players, Sabonis, Fox, Keegan Murray, I would definitely look at Trey Lyles. Yeah. For his price, if he gets 25 plus minutes, I don't mind him. Obviously, a tournament option at center for that price is what I would look at. And those are probably the only Sacramento players that I would look at. Then the final game, we got the Hornets versus the Clippers. You can see the Hornets have the better, well, they're giving up the more opponent points per game. So that would be the Clippers, and you can see they are a huge favorite here. Minus 631 money line at the moment. So Clippers, I probably am not using very many Charlotte bats. We'll see, or bats. Charlotte players, we can look at this game though. Harden has been absolutely balling out lately. Outside of this game, 51, 44, 59, like he's playing the minutes. He's looking like vintage Harden. I'm all in for $9,100 Harden at point guard. I'll take Harden there. Kawhi, he's questionable. He's been out 2 games. In this matchup, the Clippers should dominate them. It shouldn't be a close game at all. So I look at that, and I think, why push Kawhi? I think Kawhi's probably out again this game, which will open up value here. So Paul George could open up. So for Clippers, Harden, Paul George. Flip side of that, Rozier, if you think it's going to be, he's going to be the one scoring. I don't mind Terry Rozier. Bridges, I'm okay with Bridges as well. Gordon Hayward, the minutes are there. The production has not been there for Gordon. PJ Washington would be a cheaper center position option or power forward. Coming off a really good game in 28 minutes against Denver, 44.5 fantasy points. If he could do something similar to that, it would be awesome. Trying to see if he's faced the Clippers this year. He has not. I don't know how much I want Washington. Zubac, probably value would open up. If he can get 27 minutes again here, I'm okay with that. Westbrook, game log. Yeah, Westbrook at 6,200, he's still not hitting the value we need. So if I'm sticking to it, I'm probably sticking to Harden, Paul George, Rozier, Bridges, Nick Richards. I would look at Nick. Now, you see, against Indy in the high-paced game, they were getting blown out. So he was pulled 19 minutes. But against Denver in 38 minutes, 43.5 fantasy points at 6,000, I'm okay with that. So Nick Richards makes a lot of sense for me as well. So we tried something new in this video. We tried to give you the players with projections at the beginning. We looked at pace of play. We looked at Vegas. We looked at the DVP, and we also went through each game by game. So we did that with MLB. It's easier to do with MLB because I'm more in tune with MLB. It's easier to break down with pitchers because I can do the video the night before. Gives me a lot more time. So if you like this video and you like this format, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to give away free passes. We have not given away a weekly pass getting 50 likes on a video in a very long time. So that being said, I'm trying to. If you guys want, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you liked what we did this way, let us know. And don't forget, join the Discord channel down below, and let's get some conversations going. So that's what I've got in this video. Good luck today, and as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace!